2021 defensive back out of Kentucky, Jansen Dunn, committed. He's, I think, 24/7 in the composite. He's around like the number 16 athlete or so, and 6'2", 180. Good range. Could be a safety, could be a corner. Very athletic. You look at his highlights, and he's impressive. He triggers well, and he tackles well. A little bit like Okuda against the run, so that's good. But so that was the first, and then you got a couple of 2022 guys for their first two commits. First one being Jyaire Brown, a corner out of Louisiana, who I believe is originally from Cincinnati, but committed to Ohio State over offers from LSU and those guys, and they got him out of Louisiana. See if they can keep him. And then last night during the draft, for some reason, they got a commitment from Ohio offensive lineman Tegra Tshabola, who is, I think, the number 2 player in the state according to 24/7 right now. So, yeah, it's been a busy recruiting week since we last talked, and they added 3 more guys. But those 2 were the first 2 2022 commits. Probably both will be top 100 guys. If they commit this early, that means they're pretty good. And if Ohio State takes an Ohio kid this early, that means they really, really like him, because they're not going to offer an Ohio kid this early that they won't take, because there's a pretty good chance that the kid will take it. So, and Tshabola is like, 6'6", 320 or whatever. And you look at his highlights and he looks like it. And that's as a sophomore. So, big kid, good feet. Remarkably a good start to the 2022 class, as Ohio State is also 17 guys into a 2021 class of maybe 25, considering how many guys they might lose to the NFL. So this Ryan Day guy, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I think it's going to be around 25, because we could name several underclassmen who could be, they've had, what is it now, 15 first-round picks in 6 years with the 3 yesterday. And they also now have the all-time lead with 84. They came into the night tied with USC with 81. In this last 5 or 6 years, they have reeled in USC and now shot right on by them. And the idea is next year they could have 3 or 4 more very easily. Talking about John Wade, Justin Fields, potentially Wyatt Davis,
maybe Chris Olave.
And if somebody took a flyer on Josh Myers as well. So, and this isn't even discounting the fact there could be somebody who jumps out of nowhere and, could be that guy next year. Hard to say. But at any rate, the recruiting just kind of perpetuates itself based on what these kids see on NFL draft coverage. And for them to get a kid from Louisiana, the state of the defending national champion, so early in the process, Jyaire Brown, just kind of speaks that he's going to be coached by an NFL coach and Kerry Combs. And I know ranking-wise, 24/7 had done its own individual rankings, not the composite, and he is somewhere in the 120 to 140 range, I think. And the other kid, Tegra Tshabola, or however you want to pronounce it, he is at number 69 nationally in those rankings for 2022 by the 247 experts. I'm sure Kevin could quote you the Rivals experts if they have ranked those guys yet, but both of them potentially will be top 100 guys when it's all said and done. So can't have enough good big offensive linemen who can run, and I presume that's what Tshabola brings, and can't have enough great defensive backs who can run and make plays, and I presume that's what Brown will bring as well. So I think, again, off to a running start for 2022. My guess is they're going to start out with the chance to get 18 to 20 guys in that class. And again, with guys leaving early, like Garrett Wilson the following year, probably, it'll probably go up from there. So, hard to say.
Yeah, I would never get too caught up in what the number for the class is. It's always going to be about the 85. I would just assume every year moving forward, just say 25, because of the days of the transfer portal and the success of the program and early departures and whatnot. Will there be classes where they do come in under 25? Yeah, sure. But it's not going to be by much. I think you always need to kind of plan that. I don't think it necessarily was something that was Tressel-esque, but I just think 10 years ago, you could sit there and do the math and say, okay, they've got 17 seniors. Let's just put in 3 spots for attrition and maybe just 1 wild card, and you could come close to pegging the number. Now, I don't think there's any need to peg the number. I think you just sit there and say 25 is going to be it. As for these 2022 kids, we have not put numerical rankings on these guys yet, but we have put star ratings on some of our top guys, top 250 type guys. As for the offensive lineman out of Ohio, I would say he's probably a Rivals 100 guy based on where he is, somewhere between 60 and 90. And then for the defensive back out of New Orleans, I would say he's a Rivals 250 type of guy, somewhere probably in the 100s, probably sub 120. But that's a guess at this point. I leave that to Mike Farrell and the rest of the recruiters or the recruiting rankers. But yeah, they certainly have done what they've needed to do in recruiting. And I would keep an eye on C.J. Hicks as another in-state guy that could be moving here pretty soon. Ohio State really had to kind of wait and do all of its due diligence on him. They offered him, and I would have lost a lot of money betting who the first or second guys in 2022 would have been, because I would have figured it would have been Hicks. But, this goes back to the point of where we had a chance to talk to Mark Pantoni several weeks ago, and he talked about the assistant coaches going and watching film of sophomores and maybe commenting, well, these guys aren't that good. Well, not yet, because they're only sophomores at this point. Well, obviously, they have a lot of time on their hands, and they've been able to do a lot of evaluation on 2022s. The offers are going out, and we're starting to see that work pay off.